When a lonely Finnish hermit living in the forest opened the door of his house on a cold winter evening, he could never have imagined that his life was about to change forever. On the doorstep, shivering from cold and hunger, sat a small otter whose eyes were full of caution and hope. This moment became the beginning of an amazing story of friendship between a man and a wild animal, one that soon conquered the internet and astonished everyone. Seppo, a 65-year-old hermit, lived in a secluded house on the outskirts of the municipality of Punkaharju, where the population barely reached 4,000 people. His days flowed steadily and calmly, but sometimes the silence became too loud and the loneliness too palpable. It seemed that nothing could disrupt this familiar routine, until one winter evening when fate knocked on his door. Opening the door, Seppo saw something that made his heart skip a beat. On the threshold, shivering from cold and hunger, sat a small otter. Its eyes, full of caution and hope, met the gaze of the elderly man. This moment became the beginning of an amazing story of friendship that would soon capture the hearts of people around the world. Without hesitation, Seppo went to the kitchen and gathered a simple meal of worms and fish, what he usually used for fishing. The otter, which he later named Ivari, eagerly pounced on the food while still warily watching its unexpected benefactor. It seemed their meeting should have ended there, but fate had other plans. The next evening, Ivari appeared again at Seppo's house, as if to indicate that their acquaintance was not a coincidence, but the beginning of something bigger. With each passing day, the trust between the man and the wild animal grew. Ivari became a regular guest at Seppo's house, turning his lonely days into exciting adventures. She would come to eat, sometimes grabbing a fish and running away, probably to share the catch with her family. Gradually, the otter became so comfortable that she started entering the house, finding her bowl in the kitchen and calmly eating, ignoring the presence of the human. Seppo, inspired by this unusual friendship, began to train Ivari. He taught her to respond to her name, played with her, petted her, and constantly talked to her. Surprisingly, the wild animal quickly got used to human interaction and stopped being afraid. Their relationship grew into a real friendship. When noticing Seppo by the water, Ivari would run out to meet him, circle around him, and accompany him home. Sometimes it was enough to simply call her by name, and the otter would appear, ready for new games and adventures. News of this unusual friendship quickly spread around the area. Residents of neighboring houses began visiting Seppo to witness the miracle with their own eyes. Children watched the playful otter with delight, though Ivari was not quick to demonstrate her friendliness to strangers. In the presence of unfamiliar people, she often hid in the snow, coming out only at the call of her human friend. The story of Seppo and Ivari attracted the attention of a local journalist, who set up camera traps and hidden cameras to capture unique moments of their interaction without scaring the animal. The resulting footage quickly spread across the internet, gathering millions of views and touching the hearts of people worldwide. This unusual friendship lasted for several years. Each year, Ivari returned to Seppo, and they always recognized each other. She even brought members of her family with her, as if wanting to introduce them to her human friend. But like everything in this world, their story came to an end. One day, Seppo didn't meet Ivari by the water. He realized that his little friend had probably gone forever. In the wild, otters rarely live longer than 10 years, and given all the dangers they face, their lives are often even shorter. The story of Seppo and Ivari teaches us many things. It reminds us of the importance of paying attention to the world around us and being sensitive to other living creatures. It shows that friendship can arise in the most unexpected places and between the most unpredictable companions. However, this story also reminds us of the need for caution when interacting with wild animals. Although the desire to help a starving creature is commendable, it's important to remember that wild animals remain wild, and our intervention in their lives should be minimal and careful. Seppo never expected that a simple act of kindness, feeding a hungry otter, would lead to such an amazing friendship and make him known far beyond his quiet forest home. This story reminds us that sometimes the simplest actions can lead to the most extraordinary results. In a world where people often feel lonely and disconnected from nature, the story of Seppo and Ivari serves as a beautiful reminder that the connection between humans and nature can be deep and touching. It shows that friendship and love can overcome barriers of species and language, creating bonds that remain in our hearts forever. Thus, in the depths of the Finnish forests, where winters are harsh and people are scarce, a story was born that warmed the hearts of millions. A story about how a lonely man and a wild otter found in each other a companion, a friend, and a source of joy. And although Ivari is gone, the memory of her and the lessons of this extraordinary friendship continue to live on, reminding us of the wonders that a simple act of kindness can bring.